here. So here we're going to have the amount reflected on the income statement. So here we're going to have the balance at end of here. So here we're going to have the amount paid. The amount paid. So let me adjust this one and also the distribution. So with the balances at the beginning must always be inside the brackets. So same applies to the amount reflected on the income statement must be inside the brackets. So here I'm just going through the statement of comprehensive income to check the balances at the beginning. I'm also going to check the statement of financial position for us to indicate the balance at the beginning and also the balance at the end. But for the amount reflected in the income statement, obviously I'm going to get the amount on the comprehensive income statement. So let's go through the additional information to check the amounts. So here we have you see we have under the current liabilities we have the distribution to members. So we have the previous amount of 2180 and 12,600 as the current amount. So 2180 is going to be indicated as the balance at the beginning of the year, and 12,600 is going to be indicated as the balance at the end. So the distribution, like I said, that the balances at the beginning is going to be inside the brackets, and we have seen that the balance at the beginning is 2180. So 2180 is going to be inside the brackets, and the balance at the end, it was the balance at the end for distribution, it was 24,000. The balance at the end for the distribution, it was 12,600. So we're going to have 12,600 here, not inside the brackets. So but the balance and the income statements, that's where we're going to indicate it inside the brackets. So let's also deal with the taxation paid. So same applies to the taxation. Here we have the receiver of revenue. This one is a taxation. So the balance at the beginning, it was 2,200, and the balance at the end is 15,280. So let's also check the amount on the income statement for taxation paid. The amount on for taxation paid on the income statement here is indicated inside the brackets as 27,884, and the distribution to members is 24,000. So 27,884 and 24,000, and the balance at the beginning, it was 2,215,280. So for the balance at the beginning for taxation paid is 2,200, so inside the brackets. And here for the distribution, the amount is what, 24,000, so inside the brackets. So the amount for taxation as reflected in the income statement is 27,884, so inside the brackets. 27,884 inside the brackets. So the balance at the end for taxation, it was 15,280. So in order for us to find the balance at the amount paid, it's going to be easy. I would like you to start with the positive. So let's start with the taxation. 15,280, you're going to less the 2, then it's going to give us how much? 15 to 8, we are going to less the 2, going to give us how much? 14,804. So with the distribution paid, same applies to the distribution. We're going to start with the positive one. $13,580. Then here we go. We are done with the notes. So I'm going to prepare this cash flow statement for the year. Show cash flow statement for the year. So we're going to have the cash flow statement for the year. So we have the first item here is going to be the cash flow from operating activities. So under the cash flow from operating activities, that's where we are going to have the cash received from clients, customers. So we're going to have the cash paid to suppliers. So the two from what you call the cash generated from operations. So let me grab my pen and draw the statement of cash flow. Here we go. Statement of cash flows. So I just had to okay, so something like this. So with the cash received from customers and the cash paid, we have dealt with the notes. So I'm just going to take the amount for the cash paid to suppliers. We have the negative 212,620. So the cash received from client is 389,200. So if we take 389,200 and we less the cash paid to suppliers, we're going to have how much? One 7,658. So we can have the interest received. So we can have the interest paid. So the interest received, we also dealt with the amount for interest received. I think it was how much? 4,000. So it's going to be 4,000. So the interest paid also dealt with interest paid for the interest alone. Here we are dealing with the cash flow, so here's the amount. So here is going to be inside the brackets 2712, and we are also going to have the distribution to members and the taxation paid. The distribution to members and the taxation paid. The distribution to members and the taxation paid. So let me not forget about the salaries to members. Members. The amounts that I'm talking about here are the amounts that I'm talking about. So don't be confused. It's 96 because there it was not inside the brackets. This time it's going to be inside the brackets 96,000. So we're going to have the distribution paid and also the taxation paid. Also the distribution and taxation paid, we've dealt with them. So the taxation paid is the amount 14,804 inside the brackets 14,804. So the distribution paid is how much? 13,580 inside the bracket 13,580 inside the bracket 13,580 inside the bracket. So we are done with the cash flow from operating activities. So I can grab my pen right now and draw something like this to show that we are done. Okay, so with the cash flow from operating activities, so the total amount here, we're going to start from here. You're going to add your less in order for us to get the cash flow from operating activities. The cash flow from operating activities. So my calculator says it's 3,5. So my calculator says it's 3,5. 484. So 35484 is an inflow of cash. So we're done with the operating activities. So we're going to have the cash flow from investing activities. So we're going to have the investing activities. So with the investing activities, we're going to check if we purchased any asset, or if we sold any asset, or if we ever had an investment that was matured or in placed or decreased or increased. So here I will start with the additional information to check if we have the assets that was purchased or that was sold or that was. So with the here we're going to check the additional information. Okay, so here we are on the additional information. So we're going to check information. Note number 1, they're saying no property and furniture was bought during the year. No property and furniture was bought during the year, but the furniture was sold during the year. The furniture was sold during the year. Guys, the furniture was sold during the year. So we know that with the furniture, I think we had a loss. If I'm not mistaken, yes, we had a loss of 10,000. So here they're telling us that the furniture was sold for the year. So in order for us to determine the sold amount, here they did not tell us whether we're using the cost or the carrying value, but I will just use the cost. So let's check the note number 1. We have the previous year and the current year. The previous year amount, I'm just going to use the cost price for furniture is 200,000. So we're going to take 200,000. We're going to less 120,000. So we're going to have 80,000. So 80,000 is going to be the cost for what? For the sold furniture. So we're also going to take accumulated depreciation of 4,000. We're going to less 57,000 for the accumulated. Then we're going to have, okay, let me just draw like so that you can understand it better. So in order for us to get the proceed on sale of furniture, I'm just going to prepare the T account for asset disposal. I hope that you all understand the T account for asset disposal. So in order for you to understand it, so you're going to have something like this. Okay, so this is our asset disposal. Asset disposal. Disposal. So remember here we must have the cost price for furniture. You must have the accumulated for furniture. Accumulated for furniture. So but we have the loss. We know that the loss is going to be indicated in this side. So we have the loss MC of furniture. So the loss amount, I'm just going to check our note for, here's the loss amount, 10,000. We know that we have 10,000 as our loss. 10,000, right? But we don't have the furniture amount and the accumulated depreciation amount for the sold. But we have been given the note number 1, fixed asset, right? And if I remember, they told us that the balance at the beginning, it was, let me go through the question paper. Okay, here we've been told, guys, that the furniture with the cost price at the beginning of the year is 20,000. Here I'm trying to highlight it, so is 20,000. It says 20,000. Yes, 20,000. Why? Because this one is the amount for 2015, so obviously it's the balance at the beginning. But at the end of the year, we had 120,000 for furniture. So in order for us to find the cost price for the sold, we are going to take 200,000. We're going to less 120,000 to get 80,000. So here we're going to have 80,000. So same applies to accumulated depreciation. We're just going to do the same. So same applies to this, what we determined, what we did when we are determining the cost price method. So we're going to use the same method. Here we have the accumulated depreciation at the beginning of the year. 44,000. So because we have the depreciation amount of 19,000, we're going to add 19,408. So then we can now less this accumulated depreciation for finish, less 57,132 to get 6,276. So here we're going to have the proceed and land and building. So if you're just going to find the difference, and we have 405,320. So we're going to check whether we have the investment or not. So in order for us to determine whether we have the investment, yes, we have the investment. You're going to check the statement of financial position under the current non-current assets. So in this case, the investment for the previous year was 20,000, and the current year is 0. So which means the investment was what? Decreased from 20,000 to 0. So it's a proceed, right? On sale of investment, not on sale of investment, proceed. So we're going to have the proceed here on investment. So it's 20,000. It's 20,000. So I think we are done with our cash flow from investing activities. So we're going to add the three amounts in order for us to determine the total amount that must be as cash flow from investing activities. So something like this. So the total amount here is going to be how much? Press our calculators. Let's press our calculators. $48,944. So we're also going to have the cash flow from financing activities. Jeez, the cash flow from financing activities. Under the cash flow from financing activities, we are only going to check what kind of company is this one. Is it the public company, private company, or what? But if it's a public company, then it's Ltd, the private company, Pty Ltd. So if it's a close corporation, we must have the membership, right? So let's go through the question paper and check if we have. Here's our question paper. So we have been told that the Moshi is CC, so it's a close corporation. We must have the members' contribution, right? The members' here, you see, here's the amount members' contribution. So with members' contribution, we're going to check whether it's increased or decreased. So the previous year amount, it was 180, right? And the current amount it increased, right? So it's a proceed on members' contribution. So with the loan from members, it's decreased, right? It decreased from 900 to 302. So we're going to have the proceed we're going to have the proceed on members contribution. and the difference was 30,000. So it's an inflow. So we had the repayment of loan, payment of loan, and the repayment of loan amount is 598 598 508 5088. Because it's a repayment, it must be indicated inside the bracket. It's inside the brackets. So here the total is going to be how much? 598 less. So the total is going to be how much? So it's going to be negative 568508. So we are done. Only two items must be indicated under the cash flow from financing activities. No other item. So we're almost done. Almost done. Almost done. So here we're going to have the net change. Net change. Here we're going to have the cash flow, cash at the beginning. So here we're going to have the cash at end. In order for us to determine the cash, the net change. Also, let's go and check the additional information. Oh, so we have the cash at the beginning of the day, it was 10,780, and at the end is 3,200. So it's going to be easy for us to find the net changes. We know that at the end we have 3,200, and at the beginning we have 10,780. So in order for us to find here, we must take this one, you add this one to get the net change, and our net change is 43,980. 43,980. So it's 43,980. So must be indicated inside the brackets. So let's check if it's real balancing. We're going to start from here. We're going to take this amount, add this one, less this one, and let's see if we can get this amount of 43. Yes, we have 43,980. So family, thank you for your support, for really supporting this channel. So hopefully this channel is going to be the #1 channel ever in the world. So I really thank you, and also for the subscription subscribers. There are a lot of subscribers, so thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate that. And don't forget to check out my study guides. I did study guides for N5 students only, not for N4 and N6, only for N5 students. So I did study guides for N5 students. If you are an N5 student, go and check out the study guides for Malewa SA Empire. If you want information about my study guides, you can contact me on my WhatsApp or email me at sepomaniwa089 at